Ethan Brooks had never planned to buy a spaceship. In fact, he had never even dreamed of owning one. Most people who came to the orbital salvage auctions were either wealthy collectors, greedy traders, or desperate engineers looking for parts. Ethan was none of these. He was just a mechanic with a small workshop in the outer colonies. Someone who fixed old freighters and small cargo ships for a living. His life was simple. He liked fixing machines, earning enough to pay for food and rent, and spending quiet nights staring at the stars. The auction that day was chaotic. The main platform floated above a giant asteroid belt, lit by harsh floodlights and surrounded by the hum of hovering drones. Ships of all sizes had been brought to be sold. Some were stripped to the frame, others barely functional, and a few had strange markings that no one could recognize. The people attending the auction were loud, laughing, shouting, and waving paddles with numbers. Ethan felt a little out of place. He had come only to bid on a few spare engines for his workshop. He had no intention of buying a full ship. As the auctioneer began the event, one by one, ships were called to the center of the platform. The first was a small freighter with patches of rust along its hull. A group of wealthy traders immediately raised their paddles. Ethan barely paid attention, watching the way the other bidders moved. Most of them seemed confident, like they knew exactly what they wanted and how to get it. He envied them a little. Then he noticed something unusual. It was at the far edge of the platform, almost hidden behind a pile of old cargo containers. The ship was small, but its shape was unlike anything Ethan had ever seen. It didn't look like the regular cargo freighters or military scouts. Its hull was smooth, almost glowing under the floodlights, and it had curves and angles that seemed to flow naturally, rather than be built by human hands. A sign hung crookedly in front of it. Unknown manufacturer. Scheduled for dismantling. Marcus. Unknown. Ethan felt a sudden spark of curiosity. He stepped closer, ignoring the other bidders. No one seemed interested. Some traders even laughed at it, muttering that it was probably junk. The auctioneer gave it little attention and moved on to the next lot. But Ethan couldn't stop looking. There was something about the ship that felt alive. It was as if it was waiting for someone to notice it. A young engineer, Claire Morgan, was standing near the ship. She had short brown hair and bright green eyes, and she carried a small toolkit with her. Claire was also studying the ship, but she seemed more professional than curious. She glanced at Ethan and gave a small nod. "You like it?" she asked softly. Ethan shrugged. "I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. It's probably just old tech that someone forgot." Claire shook her head. "I don't think so. Look at the lines. Look at the joints. That's not human design. Whoever made it knew what they were doing. And the hull, it's clean. No corrosion. No stress fractures. It's in better shape than some new ships I've repaired." Ethan frowned. He had repaired many ships in his life. He knew the difference between a ship that would break down in a week and one that could last for decades. This ship was different. Something about it felt strong and smart at the same time. The auctioneer's voice cut through the noise, calling the next lot. Ethan tried to focus on the engines he had come for, but his eyes kept drifting back to the strange ship. He couldn't explain why, but he felt like it was calling to him. Finally, it was time for the unknown ship to be auctioned. Only a few people had paid attention, and they seemed uninterested when the starting bid was announced. The starting price was low, far lower than Ethan expected. He glanced around. No one else moved. They all assumed it was junk, meant to be taken apart for scrap. Ethan took a deep breath. "I'll bid," he said. His voice was quiet but firm. The auctioneer raised an eyebrow. "Sold to?" he asked, waiting. Ethan lifted his paddle. "Brooks. Ethan Brooks." The auctioneer stared for a moment, then nodded. "Going once. Going twice. Sold." To Mr. Brooks. Claire's eyes widened. You bought it? She asked, half shocked. Ethan shrugged again, feeling a strange mix of excitement and fear. I guess I did, the crowd around them murmured. Some traders laughed. Others shook their heads. No one had expected the ship to be sold, and certainly not to a lone mechanic. Ethan felt a rush of adrenaline. This was more than he had ever imagined. They moved the ship slowly to the private dock. Ethan followed, walking alongside Claire. The ship seemed almost aware of their presence. Its lights flickered gently, as if greeting them. Ethan's heart raced. He had no idea what he was getting into. But he couldn't stop thinking about the possibilities. When they reached the dock, Claire opened her toolkit. You want to look inside? She asked. Ethan nodded. I have to. I can't leave it like this. The hatch opened smoothly, and a faint hum filled the air. Inside, the ship was unlike anything Ethan had seen. The walls were lined with panels that glowed softly. The controls were simple yet advanced, almost intuitive. There were screens that displayed information in symbols Ethan didn't recognize. But somehow, he felt he could understand them. Claire ran her fingers along the control panel. This is incredible, she said. I've repaired hundreds of ships, Ethan, but nothing like this. It's as if it was built to adapt to whoever is flying it. Ethan walked through the corridors, feeling a strange energy in the air. Every room he entered seemed alive. The engine room, the living quarters, even the small storage areas radiated a quiet power. He could feel that the ship was more than just metal and circuits. It had a purpose, and he suspected it was waiting for him to discover it. As they explored, a message arrived on Ethan's comlink. It was from the Auction Authority. Commander Luke Harris's name flashed on the screen. Ethan answered cautiously. Mr. Brooks, the commander said, his voice serious. I see you have taken the ship. I need to inform you that it is scheduled for dismantling. The ship is considered too dangerous to exist intact. You are required to bring it to the authority for inspection and possible destruction. Ethan frowned. Destroy it? I just bought it. It doesn't look dangerous. Commander Harris's voice was firm. It is not for personal judgment. The ship's origin is unknown. Its capabilities are untested. For the safety of the colonies and human space, it must be decommissioned and dismantled. Ethan glanced at Claire. She crossed her arms, looking defiant. We can't let them do that, she said quietly. We don't even know what it can do, but I can feel it. It's not dangerous. Not yet. If anything, it's smart. It might even be alive in some way. Ethan swallowed. He knew she was right. Something about the ship felt alive. It responded when they touched controls. It seemed to adjust itself to their presence. And it had survived in perfect condition despite being labeled for scrap. He couldn't just hand it over to be destroyed. That night, Ethan and Claire stayed on the ship. They explored more of its systems, discovering hidden compartments and control panels that lit up as they approached. They found storage rooms filled with small devices and tools that seemed centuries ahead of human design. Every discovery made Ethan more certain that he had stumbled onto something extraordinary. For hours, they worked silently, mapping out the ship's interior. Ethan couldn't sleep, even though he tried. He kept thinking about what Commander Harris had said. How could the authorities understand the ship if it was so far beyond known technology? How could anyone decide it should be destroyed? By the time dawn arrived, Ethan had made a decision. He would not give the ship up. He would protect it, learn from it, and understand it. The authorities might try to take it, but he was ready. Somehow, he felt that the ship had chosen him, not the other way around, and that realization filled him with both pride and fear. The ship, silent yet alive, seemed to hum in agreement. It had been waiting for someone like Ethan, someone who would see it as more than metal, more than scrap. And for the first time, he understood that his life had changed forever. He looked at Claire, who was leaning against a bulkhead, watching the glowing panels. "We're going to need a plan," he said. Claire smiled faintly. "We already have one. We just don't know the details yet." Ethan laughed quietly. It felt good to laugh, even when the future was uncertain. For the first time in his life, he felt part of something bigger than himself. Something human, something alive, something that might change everything. And in the quiet hum of the ship, he could feel it waiting, ready to reveal its secrets. The morning light from the distant stars barely reached the dock, but the ship's interior glowed softly, filling the hangar with a quiet energy. Ethan Brooks and Claire Morgan were still inside, standing in the main control room, surrounded by panels and screens that seemed to pulse with life. The hum of the ship was gentle, almost soothing, but Ethan could feel its power. It was more than just a machine. Claire was examining the main console, her hands moving over the controls. "Ethan, I've never seen anything like this," she said. "It's not just advanced, it's smart. It adapts to us. The panels change when we touch them, and the ship seems to know what we need." Ethan ran his hand along the smooth edge of the console. "I felt that too. It's like it's alive, but in a way I can't explain. I don't think any human has built something like this." Claire nodded. "And it survived. It was marked for dismantling. Probably years ago. Someone forgot it. Or maybe it wanted to wait for someone like you." Ethan frowned. "Someone like me? Why me? I'm just a mechanic. I fix old ships for a living." Claire smiled. "Maybe it chose the right person. Someone who respects machines instead of just using them. Someone who can understand it." Ethan didn't answer. He didn't know if he believed that, but a small part of him wanted to. Suddenly, a sharp tone echoed through the ship. Red lights blinked along the walls. The ship's system had activated a communication channel. A calm, neutral voice spoke. "Humans detected. Identity recognized. Ethan Brooks and Claire Morgan. Welcome aboard." Ethan froze. "Did it speak?" Claire's eyes widened. "Yes. It knows our names. It can recognize us. This is beyond AI. It's intelligent." The voice continued. "All systems online. Environmental controls stable. Engine cores in standby. Navigation online. Security protocols active. Advisory. Authority interference expected." Ethan's heart sank. "The Authority, Commander Harris. He'll try to take it." Claire frowned. "We need to understand it first. We can't just give it up." The voice responded again. "Advisory confirmed. Threat levels increasing. Suggested action. Prepare defenses. Learn operator interface. Analyze capabilities." Ethan took a deep breath. "Defenses? What kind of defenses?" There was a pause before the voice replied. "Defensive systems are non-lethal. Can disable external threats without harm. Offensive protocols dormant. Capable of rapid response to attacks." Claire exchanged a glance with Ethan. "This ship could protect us, or warn us if someone tries to take it. We need to find out everything it can do before the Authority shows up." Ethan nodded. "Let's start with the engine room. If the ship is alive, maybe it will show us something there." They moved through the corridors, guided by soft lights that shifted with their movements. Every room seemed designed for efficiency and comfort. Storage compartments opened automatically when they approached, revealing tools and devices that neither of them recognized. Some were small, glowing spheres. Others were panels that hummed when touched. Finally, they reached the engine room. The heart of the ship was massive, a glowing core that radiated heat and energy. The air was filled, with a quiet vibration. Ethan's hands trembled slightly as he reached toward the controls. The ship responded instantly. Panels lit up, showing a diagram of the engine's systems. Lines of energy flowed like water, connecting each part of the core. "Ethan, look at this," Claire said. It's self-repairing. The core is healing itself, and it's analyzing everything." Ethan studied the diagrams. He had repaired engines before, but he had never seen one like this. It didn't just run, it learned. It optimized itself. If something was damaged, it didn't just fix it, it improved it. The voice spoke again. "Energy core stability, 97%. Systems adapting to operator input. Suggested action. Continue interface study." Ethan nodded slowly. "It's amazing. I can't even imagine how it works." Claire touched a small console near the core. "And look at this. It has compartments for materials we don't have yet. Advanced alloys, power cells, things that could change how we build ships." Ethan's mind raced. If we can study this, humans could leap decades ahead in technology. But if the authority takes it, they might just dismantle it for parts and destroy all this knowledge. Claire frowned. "We need to protect it. We can't let them take it." As if in response, the ship's lights brightened for a moment. The voice said, "Advisory. Unauthorized approach detected. Threat assessment recommended." Ethan froze. "Someone's coming?" Claire nodded. "Probably them. Commander Harris won't give up easily." They moved quickly to the observation deck, peering out through the ship's reinforced windows. In the distance, several small patrol ships were approaching. They were sleek and armed, clearly sent to take the ship. Ethan felt a surge of fear and excitement. "Claire, we might not have to fight, but we need to be ready." The ship responded, "Defensive systems online. Advisory. Allow human operators to control engagement level." Claire pressed her hand to the console. "It wants us to decide. We can't just hide. We have to show it. Who's in charge here? Together." Ethan nodded. "Okay, let's do this." They activated the ship's external systems. The patrol ships approached cautiously, scanning the dock for threats. Suddenly, a beam of energy shot out from the ship, hitting one of the patrol ship's engines. The ship didn't fire weapons, but it disabled the patrol ship without harming anyone inside. Ethan and Claire stared, stunned. The ship had acted on its own, but followed their intentions. Did it just protect us?" Ethan asked. Claire nodded. "It knew we didn't want to hurt anyone, but it stopped them from boarding. This ship, it's smart, and it trusts us." The patrol ships retreated slightly, unsure of what they were facing. Ethan's heart pounded. "We can't let them get close again. We need a plan." The voice spoke again. "Threat level. Moderate. Recommended action. Relocate to secure orbit. Continue operator training." Claire turned to Ethan. "It wants us to leave the dock. It can fly on its own if needed, but we need to learn more about it before that." Ethan agreed. "Right. Let's explore more. We can't just react. We have to understand it completely." They spent the next hours moving through the ship. Each room revealed new secrets. There were compartments with tools that could repair themselves. There were panels that displayed star maps from systems they had never visited. There were even small chambers with devices that seemed capable of generating gravity fields or manipulating energy in ways Ethan didn't understand. Every discovery made them more certain that the ship was unlike anything humans had seen before. And with each discovery, the threat of the authority grew. Ethan knew Commander Harris would not wait. The moment they realized the ship could protect itself, they would escalate their efforts to take it. As night fell, the patrol ships returned, circling the dock. Ethan and Claire watched from inside, realizing that the ship was more than just a vessel. They were now partners in something much bigger. "We can't stay here," Claire said. "We need to leave the dock and find a safe place to study the ship." Ethan nodded. "But where? The whole system is monitored. The authority won't let us go unnoticed." The ship's voice answered. "Recommended action. Engage stealth protocols. Navigate to uncharted sector. Humans capable of operating vessels safely. Estimated time to destination. 6 hours." Ethan took a deep breath. "Okay, let's do it. We have no choice." Claire smiled, a little nervously. "I hope the ship does," Ethan replied, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. They moved to the cockpit. The ship adjusted to their presence, responding to their commands without hesitation. Ethan guided the controls carefully, feeling a strange connection between himself and the vessel. It was as if the ship understood his intentions before he acted. Claire monitored the systems, calling out information about energy levels, shields, and navigation. The ship responded instantly to both of them, creating a seamless partnership between human and machine. As they lifted off, the patrol ships attempted to follow, but the ship's stealth systems activated. Their sensors could not track the vessel. Within minutes, Ethan and Claire were in open space, heading toward an uncharted region of the galaxy. They finally relaxed a little, but neither of them spoke. They were both thinking the same thing. The authority would not give up. They would come for the ship again. Ethan looked at the glowing panels around him. "We need to understand it fully. We need to learn how it works and why it survived all this time." Claire nodded. "And we need to be ready for anything. This ship is more than just a machine. It's alive, and it's with us now. If the authority wants it, they'll have to go through both of us." The ship hummed softly, almost as if it agreed. For the first time, Ethan realized the truth. They were no longer just humans with a mysterious ship. They were a team. And whatever challenges came next, they would face them together. The stars stretched out before them, endless and full of possibilities. And somewhere deep in the glowing corridors of the ship, hidden systems waited to reveal more secrets. Ethan felt a thrill he had never known. The ship was alive. It had chosen them. And now, humanity had a chance to touch something greater than themselves. And with that thought, he understood one simple truth. This was only the beginning. Ethan Brooks sat in the cockpit, his hands gripping the controls tightly. Outside the reinforced windows, the stars streaked past as the ship moved through uncharted space. Beside him, Claire Morgan monitored the systems, her eyes scanning every readout, every line of glowing data. The ship hummed softly around them, a steady and confident sound, as if it were alive and aware of their thoughts. "We can't stay here forever," Claire said quietly. "The authority won't give up. They'll trace us eventually, even in uncharted space." Ethan nodded. "I know. But right now, we need to understand it fully. The ship is more than just a vessel. It's alive. And if we learn its systems, we might actually be able to protect it and ourselves." The ship's voice spoke suddenly, calm and neutral. "Threat probability high. Advisory. Authority ships detected approaching trajectory. Estimated arrival in 3 hours." Ethan swallowed. 3 hours isn't long. We need a plan. We can't fight them head on. Claire looked at him, her green eyes bright with determination. "Then we use our advantage. We know the ship. They don't. If we think smart, we can outmaneuver them without destroying them." Ethan nodded again, feeling a spark of hope. "Let's do it." The first signs of the approaching authority fleet appeared as small blips on the navigation screen. They were fast and heavily armed, clearly sent to capture the ship at any cost. Ethan felt his stomach tighten. These were trained soldiers, experienced pilots, and they had one goal: take the ship by force. The ship's voice spoke again. Advisory. Defensive systems online. External monitoring active. Threat response optimized for minimal harm to humans. Ethan glanced at Claire. It's ready. Are we? Claire took a deep breath. We have to be. Let's see what it can do. 1. The first patrol ship moved closer, scanning for life forms. Suddenly, a wave of energy projected from the hull of Ethan's ship. The patrol vessel's sensors went haywire, and its engines stuttered. It could not track or fire accurately. Ethan's heart raced. The ship had disabled the patrol without firing a single shot. They're trying to test us, Ethan said. Don't move too fast. Let it guide us. Claire nodded. It knows what it's doing. As they maneuvered through the asteroid belt, the patrol ships tried to surround them. But every time they approached, the ship responded instantly. Shields projected around them, deflecting scanning beams. Tiny drones emerged from compartments in the hull, jamming communications and sensors without causing damage. Ethan realized the ship wasn't just protecting them. It was learning. Every move the Authority made, the ship predicted it, countered it, and adapted in real time. This is incredible, Claire whispered. It's not just defending itself. It's thinking like a human, smarter than a human. Maybe. Ethan felt a mix of awe and fear. And they'll keep coming. We can't just run forever. This now. The patrol ships began to take more aggressive measures. They fired energy nets designed to trap the ship, trying to force it down. But each time, the ship analyzed the attack and responded perfectly. Nets disintegrated before they could touch the hull. Laser beams bent harmlessly around the ship as shields projected along the projected paths. Ethan and Claire exchanged a look. The ship wasn't just powerful, it was precise. It didn't destroy. It protected. It allowed them to survive without harming anyone. Suddenly, a message came through the comm link. Commander Luke Harris's voice was tense. Ethan Brooks, this is your final warning. Release the vessel, or we will engage full force. You will not survive if you resist. Ethan clenched his fists. He thinks threats scare us, he muttered. The ship's voice responded. Advisory. Human operators prepared to resist. Defensive protocols increased. Estimated engagement. Success. High. Claire smiled faintly. It trusts us. We have to trust it. The patrol ships moved in again, more coordinated this time. Ethan adjusted the ship's course through a dense asteroid cluster. The Authority vessels followed, but the ship moved with grace, weaving through asteroids with perfect precision. Small energy pulses projected ahead, nudging asteroids just enough to block incoming fire without causing destruction. They're trying to trap us, Ethan said. But it's like the ship knows exactly where they'll be. Claire nodded. Every move we make, it responds. It's like a chess game. And we're 3 moves ahead without even realizing it. Hours passed. The patrol ships continued to pursue them, but they could not land a single hit. Ethan realized that the ship was not only defending them but also communicating with them, teaching them how to move, how to think strategically. Suddenly, a new blip appeared on the screen. A massive vessel, larger than the patrol ships, was entering the system. Its hull gleamed under distant starlight, and its weapons were clearly visible. Ethan's stomach sank. This was no longer a simple chase. This was a battle they could not avoid. Claire's hands flew over the console. We can't outrun that thing. But maybe we can outsmart it. The ship's voice spoke calmly. Advisory. Advanced threat detected. Recommended action. Defensive engagement. Human operator discretion advised. Ethan swallowed. We don't want to destroy anyone. Can it disable them? Without harm. The ship responded. Yes. Non-lethal methods optimized. Target systems identified for minimal human risk. Probability of success, 87%. Ethan nodded, feeling a mix of fear and trust. Okay, let's do it. They moved into position. The larger vessel fired first, sending a volley of energy projectiles toward them. The ship responded instantly, projecting shields and dispersing the energy harmlessly into space. Tiny drones emerged from hidden compartments, jamming sensors and communications on the enemy vessel. Claire watched in awe. It's amazing. It's not just protecting us, it's neutralizing them without harming anyone. The larger vessel tried to maneuver, but the ship anticipated its moves. Energy nets were projected, but they disintegrated before contact. Laser beams were bent and redirected. The vessel's systems were slowly disrupted, not destroyed, as the ship disabled engines and navigation without causing casualties. Ethan realized they were winning. Not through aggression, but through strategy and intelligence. The ship's capabilities, combined with human ingenuity, created something far beyond what the Authority had anticipated. Hours passed as the larger vessel struggled against the ship. Finally, Commander Harris's voice came through the comm link again. Ethan Brooks, this is not over. You may have won this battle, but you cannot escape us forever. Surrender the vessel. Immediately. Ethan looked at Claire. We can't surrender. Not now. Not ever. Claire nodded. We've learned its power. We've seen what it can do. We can protect it. And humanity needs to understand it, not destroy it. The ship's voice spoke again, calmly and clearly. Advisory. Human intent confirmed. Defensive measures optimized. Probability of continued success. High. Suggested course. Relocate to hidden sector for system analysis and repair. Ethan nodded. Then that's what we'll do. They engaged the ship's full capabilities. With precision and intelligence, the ship guided them through the asteroid field, outmaneuvering the larger vessel and disappearing from pursuit. The Authority ships were left behind, unable to track or intercept them. Finally, after hours of tense navigation, they reached a hidden sector of space. It was a small cluster of asteroids and debris, uncharted and unseen by human scanners. The ship slowed, hovering gently among the rocks, its systems humming quietly. Ethan and Claire looked at each other, exhausted but exhilarated. We did it, Ethan said quietly. We actually did it. We, Claire smiled. The ship protected us, and we protected it. Together. That's what matters. Ethan ran his hands along the console. It's more than just a ship. It's alive. It thinks. It learns. And it trusts us. The ship's voice spoke softly. Advisory. Human operators have demonstrated competence, judgment, and respect. Trust established. System readiness. Full. Suggested action. Continued study and integration. Ethan felt a shiver of excitement. They had not only survived the Authority's attack, but also proven something important. Humanity was capable of more than they had been given credit for. They could understand, protect, and work with something far beyond ordinary technology. Claire turned to him, eyes shining. This is just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface. The ship has secrets, Ethan, and they're waiting for us to discover them. Ethan nodded, feeling the weight and thrill of responsibility. Then let's find out. Let's learn everything we can. Humanity deserves this. And we're going to show the universe what humans are capable of. The ship hummed in agreement, a soft, steady sound that seemed almost like a heartbeat. In that moment, Ethan understood that they were no longer just humans in a strange vessel. They were partners with something alive, something that had chosen them to carry its legacy. The stars stretched endlessly before them. And for the first time, Ethan felt that humanity had a place among them. Not as pawns, not as observers, but as equals capable of greatness. And deep inside the glowing corridors of the ship, hidden systems and advanced intelligence waited patiently, ready to reveal more, to teach more, and to rise with humanity into a future no one had ever imagined. For the first time, Ethan knew the truth. Humans were no longer powerless. They were learning, adapting, and growing just like the ship beside them. And the universe would never be the same again. Ethan Brooks sat in the cockpit, staring at the stars. For the first time in days, he felt a strange calm. The hidden sector where they had taken the ship was quiet, far from prying eyes and authority fleets. Claire Morgan was beside him, quietly studying the ship's systems, her fingers tracing glowing panels that shifted under her touch. The ship's soft hum filled the room, steady and confident. It felt alive, like it had its own heartbeat. Ethan had spent hours learning its functions, discovering hidden compartments, and watching as the ship adapted to their commands. Every step revealed something new, something far beyond human technology. Claire looked up at him. "Ethan, I think we're ready to understand it fully. The ship, it wants us to learn, not just use it, but understand it completely." Ethan nodded slowly. "I know, but I still don't understand why it chose us. There are thousands of humans out there. Why us?" The ship's voice answered softly, almost like a whisper. "Operators selected. Compatible. Purpose. Continuation of knowledge. Humans observed. Capable of responsibility, judgment, and learning. Recommendation. Custodianship granted." Ethan's heart skipped a beat. Custodianship? It's choosing us? Claire smiled faintly. "It seems that way. It trusts us, Ethan. It wants us to protect it, to learn from it, and to carry its legacy forward." Ethan ran his hands along the control console. "Then we need to understand everything. We need to know its origin, its purpose, and its capabilities. And maybe it will teach us how far humans can go." The ship responded immediately. Recommendation accepted. Systems unlocking for full access. Advisory. Discovery protocols initiated. Operator cooperation required. Ethan and Claire moved through the corridors, exploring deeper levels of the ship. There were rooms they had never seen before, each filled with advanced tools, glowing panels, and devices that seemed alive. Some chambers contained holographic star maps of galaxies far beyond human charts. Others held small machines, capable of manipulating energy and gravity in ways neither Ethan nor Claire fully understood. As they explored, a large chamber opened before them. In the center was a circular platform surrounded by glowing lines. The ship's voice spoke clearly. Purpose of chamber. Operator integration. Recommended action. Proceed to platform. Full comprehension of ship capabilities available. Ethan glanced at Claire, his heart racing. "This is it. This is where we learn everything." Claire nodded. "We have to trust it completely." They stepped onto the platform together. The glowing lines wrapped around them, not painfully, but as if they were being scanned and analyzed. Ethan felt a strange warmth in his chest, a sense of connection with the ship he had never felt before. The lines expanded, forming symbols and images that seemed to speak directly to their minds. Ethan gasped. Images of stars, planets, and unknown civilizations flashed before him. He saw the ship's past, how it was built by a civilization long gone, designed to survive and protect knowledge for whoever could understand it. He saw wars, conflicts, and countless ships that had failed. But this one had endured. It had waited for humans. Claire whispered. It wasn't just waiting. It was choosing. We're not just pilots or mechanics. We're the custodians it was meant to find. Ethan nodded slowly. It's incredible and terrifying. The responsibility is huge. If we fail, everything could be lost. The ship's voice responded. Advisory. Human operators prepared. Integration successful. Knowledge transfer initiated. Warning. Full comprehension will challenge human understanding. Proceed with caution. As the process continued, Ethan and Claire began to understand more than they had ever imagined. The ship revealed advanced propulsion systems capable of near-light travel, energy generation far beyond known limits, and shields that could withstand entire fleets. It showed them technologies that could heal planets, repair environments, and even manipulate gravity to create habitable zones in space. Ethan felt a surge of awe. Humanity could change everything. Not just fight, not just survive, but actually grow and expand in ways we never dreamed. Claire nodded. And we can't let anyone destroy it. We have to protect it. We have to show the universe that humans can handle power responsibly. Suddenly, a warning tone sounded. The ship's sensors had detected a massive force approaching. It was Commander Luke Harris and a full fleet, determined to take the ship by any means necessary. Ethan's stomach tightened. This time, they couldn't hide. We're ready, Claire said quietly. We can face them. The ship will protect us. And we'll protect it. Together. Ethan nodded. Then let's show them what humans can do. The fleet arrived, surrounding their location. Hundreds of ships moved in formation. Weapons trained on the vessel. Commander Harris's voice came through the comlink, loud and angry. Ethan Brooks, you cannot escape. Surrender the ship immediately, or we will destroy you. Ethan took a deep breath. We won't surrender. Not now. Not ever. The ship's voice spoke softly, but firmly. Operators determined. Defensive systems fully online. Engagement protocols ready. Advisory. Act with precision. Minimal harm to humans. Claire smiled faintly. It's ready. Let's do this. The first attack came in the form of energy volleys, designed to disable the ship's systems, but the vessel responded instantly, projecting shields that absorbed and redirected the energy harmlessly into space. Tiny drones emerged, jamming communications and sensors across the fleet. Every move the enemy made was countered before it could succeed. Ethan guided the ship through a complex asteroid field, weaving between rocks with incredible speed. The fleet tried to follow, but every time they approached, the ship anticipated their path and blocked them with energy projections and precise maneuvers. This is incredible, Claire whispered. It's not just defending us. It's teaching us. Every movement, every strategy, we're learning from it. Ethan nodded. And we're proving something too. Humans aren't just weak or unprepared. We can think, adapt, and fight in ways no one expected. The battle continued for hours. The fleet fired everything they had, but the ship neutralized each threat without causing casualties. Engines were disabled temporarily, weapons jammed, and navigation systems scrambled. The authorities' forces were frustrated and confused. They could not touch the ship, could not predict its moves, and could not harm the humans aboard. Finally, Commander Harris's voice came through again, trembling with anger. Ethan Brooks, this is not over. You may have won today, but the authority will not stop. Surrender immediately. Ethan shook his head. No. We won't surrender. Humanity is capable of more than you think. And this ship, it chose us for a reason. The ship's voice responded. Advisory. Enemy surrender probability high. Suggested action. Communicate and demonstrate power responsibly. Ethan nodded. Let's do it. He activated the ship's communication systems, broadcasting a message across the fleet. We are not enemies. This ship is not a weapon. It is alive, it is intelligent, and it has chosen to work with humans. We will not be destroyed, and we will not destroy anyone. We ask for understanding, not conflict. The message spread quickly, reaching every ship in the Authority fleet. The soldiers looked at each other, confused and unsure. The ship continued to display non-lethal defensive measures, proving that Ethan and Claire had control. After tense moments, the fleet began to retreat. Commander Harris's voice came through one last time. This is not the end. You will be pursued. But, for now, you have won. Ethan and Claire exhaled. The battle was over, at least for now. They looked at each other, smiling in relief and exhaustion. The ship hummed around them, its glow steady and calm. Advisory. Humans have demonstrated capability, judgment, and responsibility. Custodianship confirmed. Future cooperation with operators recommended. Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. They had not only survived, but they had proven something greater. Humanity could rise, adapt, and handle power responsibly. The ship had chosen wisely. Claire turned to him. This is only the beginning. There's so much more to learn, so much more we can do. Ethan nodded. We'll do it. We'll explore, study, and show the universe what humans are capable of. Not just fighters, not just survivors, but pioneers, learners, and protectors. The ship's voice spoke softly, almost like a whisper. Advisory. Humans accepted as partners. Knowledge and capability shared. Future limitless. As they moved through the stars, the hidden sector fading behind them, Ethan realized that their lives had changed forever. They were no longer just humans with a mysterious ship. They were custodians of knowledge, partners with a living vessel, and symbols of what humanity could achieve. The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of possibility. Ethan and Claire looked out at the vast expanse, knowing that the universe was no longer a place where humans were powerless. They had shown courage, intelligence, and restraint. They had earned the trust of something far beyond themselves. And somewhere deep inside the glowing corridors of the ship, hidden systems and advanced intelligence waited patiently, ready to guide humanity, teach them, and rise alongside them. Ethan felt a thrill he had never known. The ship had chosen humans, and now, the universe would see what humans could accomplish when given the chance. The future was theirs, and for the first time, Ethan understood that humanity was no longer just part of the galaxy. They were a force to be reckoned with, capable of greatness, and ready to rise with the ship that had chosen them. The adventure had only just begun.